On the air?
Yeah. Shalom. Welcome to Claim Your Inheritance. This is the world's holiest government that we're establishing here. Got my co-host Amaziah your holiday.
Shabbat Shalom, family. I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to all the brothers out there preaching in sincerity and truth. First thing we got up today, again, elections, and why elections are important. It goes back to Hosea 1 and 11. It says, "Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel." All right, so we need to come back together as a nation. And as a nation, it says we're going to point ourselves one head. All right, let's get another scripture here. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. "There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling." So that's the goal we work towards, is to become one body and one spirit in Christ, in the Most High. Con?
Right.
And don't forget to get your ID cards as well. Those are $21, right, Doc?
Yes, sir.
Con. So you can join the military. All right. Let's see here.
The military does pay.
I'm about to check out this link right here that you just sent me. And while I do that, I'd like to let everybody know, and hopefully you all do know, that the Passover is next week, starting on April 22nd at sundown to April 23rd. And then immediately following, we have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And we're going to get into that as well. Let's see here. In fact, let me get a script for that. Go to Leviticus chapter 23. Let's get Leviticus 23 and 2. "Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts." All right. So in this verse, the Lord is telling us that we should proclaim these feasts, these holy convocations. All right. And that word proclaim is kara, which means to call out, to recite. All right. So we're supposed to be proclaiming to let people know, and that's what I'm doing right now, and that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow as well. We're going to be having a Bible study at 10 a.m. and we're going to be talking about the Passover in particular. All right, now let's get Leviticus 23 and 4. "These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Even the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Unto the Lord 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread." So again, April 22nd at sundown is going to be the 14th day of the first month, Abib or Nisan. Let's see. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about this right here. All right.
Well, as science describes what they are witnessing, right? Real scientists observe things and do experiments, and they record as honestly as they can what they have observed. Fake scientists manipulate that information based on their worldview. So, like for example, evolution. You know what I mean? The worldview is that God does not exist, so therefore they built upon one man's observation as he traveled the world and observed animals, and he imagined that those animals came about in a procession along million year procession. You know what I mean? And
Con,
they were all related to one another. You know what I mean? There was only maybe a few birds that became all birds and things of that nature. Okay, so those birds had an ancestor that's related to a koala bear. You know what I mean?
con,
Down the line. So everything on Earth is actually comes from one ancestor. You know what I mean? So this is a complete imagination. It has nothing to back it up whatsoever. So
con.
that type of science is false science. The science is observable and repeatable.
Now
So,
that I look at this, I've actually seen this before.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I've actually did some research on this exact article that you're reading on.
okay. What'd you find?
As far as like how they're basically calculating what from what I was researching, they're like it says here, they're uh, calculating the trajectories of asteroids and other satellite type objects in outer space in order to know, like, say if we sent something up there, um, we got to know what's going to be moving around it within the next 100 years to the next 1,000 years. And they basically came back with an inconclusive test result because of the fact that there was a day missing out of time. Now, what was crazy in this article is that there was a guy that had went to Sunday school and told him about the story of Joshua. And I see right here it says this in Joshua 10:8. Fear them not, I have delivered them into thy hand. There shall not be a man of them stand before thee. But then it goes on to Joshua 10:13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hastened not to go down about a whole day. And me and you actually brought up this scripture the other day when we were talking about the book of Jasher. And then, of course, the they were still they went back and calculated it, and I think it was only like 23 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what it says here. So they
Exactly.
need to account for an extra 40 minutes of time,
Mhm.
um, which goes back to uh, Isaiah sending was it I thought it was Hezekiah,
Yeah,
which had gone down. Yeah, he sent him to give Hezekiah a message of his death.
10
And he,
degrees.
right. He was getting real sick, and he went back and pleaded with the Most High, and the Most High sent him a sign of the sundial going backwards.
So as NASA learns more and more, I mean, not NASA, but as scientists around the world learn more and more and more, right? That you have scientists that understand that the Bible is absolutely true, and then you have uh, 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 a plethora, a lot of atheist scientists. So the atheist scientists do anything to just they hoax things in order to fit their worldview and stuff like that, right? So
Con,
as they learn more and more, they tend to validate the Bible every time. Like even when they do their archaeology, they validate the Bible every single time. And as they do their other observances, they tend to validate the Bible inadvertently. They don't mean to, they don't want to, but they just have a drive to disprove the Bible. So uh, as they do their experiments and things of that nature, the Bible is always validated. And this is just one example of that validation that happens all the time. You know what I'm saying?
con. I was trying to find this book. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was written by an atheist that was out to do basically the same thing. Um, He was out to disprove the Mashiach, Yahushua, and ended up becoming a believer. Can't find that right now. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting article. Like you said, it does happen a lot, but it seems to be that they'll be out trying to disprove the scriptures and end up becoming believers themselves.
Exactly.
One of the I remember one of the arguments in the book was that wouldn't the things get lost through translation down through time, as far as before we actually had the written law, how were stories passed down? You feel what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So from the times of course Adam would have told his kids stories, and we know from Noah's flood story that we have stories of the flood in every single culture, right?
Yeah.
So the one of the big arguments was wouldn't things get lost through time or lost in translation, or maybe somebody um, put a variation on it. But the Pharisees of old times were actually famous for having the whole Old Testament memorized.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a different society. It was more of an oral society. They passed down those traditions orally. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get
Yeah.
this. Do you have any more you want to add to that?
No.
Let's get let's say oh yeah, let's get into this of course the Esau debate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need to find somebody with some heart.
Yeah, most definitely. Because like I was telling you before, I think a lot of people when they hear somebody say, "Oh, Esau is not the white man," they have a misconception that because that person's saying that Esau is not the white man, then they're saying that Esau is not or that the white man is not the enemy. When we all know that's not the case. I think throughout the whole conscious community, that is one thing that we can all agree on. Is
Mm-hmm.
that the white man is the enemy. You feel what I'm saying?
That's right. It's become more and more obvious to people around the country too, and around the world. But they didn't seem to understand that a couple of years ago.
Well, I mean, shoot, if you look
Still
at it,
the
the
white
world's
man.
been sick. The world's been sick of because they try to tell us, oh well, they don't like America, they don't like Americans. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it's the white people that are pushing these different cultures and beliefs on all these other people.
yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
yeah. And tell us we're crazy for not accepting how they do things. They just do things so weird. And tell us we're insane for not accepting how they act.
Right. And see, I ask kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, I call them kids. They're 18, 19, whatever. When I was working at Olive Garden, I'd be like, man, what do they teach y'all in school these days? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
'Cause they taught us about something called the white man's burden. You remember what I'm talking about?
The guilt.
Nah, not the guilt, but the fact that, and I think this came around the time that they were talking about the Europeans going into Africa and basically trying to evangelize Africa and stuff like that. And they call it the white man's burden, that the white man basically has to go around and civilize people and give them Christianity and culture because they're not civilized people. And that's basically what they've been trying to say they've been doing in the Middle East since 9/11.
Man.
in Iraq and Afghanistan and countries like that. That was the first thing that came to my mind because that's what they taught us in school is that it was the white man's burden. So I'm like, and when I first heard that, I knew it was a damn shame.
Huh. That's
You know what I'm saying?
that's insanity.
Because for some reason, I always had the luck of watching slavery movies in classrooms full of white people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of black kids in my schools, but for some reason, every year we watch a slavery movie, and I'd be in the classroom full of nothing but white folks. So you know what I mean. But the kids nowadays, they look at it differently, think about it differently. Not everybody, but I mean, majority of Jake. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
And teachers that get fired for teaching Black history.
Say again.
There's been teachers who get fired for teaching Black history.
Oh right. Well, you seen that lady in Texas that seen in her son's school book, and it was a school book published by McGraw-Hill, uh, which is a book that they made a lot of our textbooks when I was coming up, probably before me as well. But it said that black people came to this country as workers and laborers. You ain't heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm like, this is crazy. It said, and it was under a section called Patterns of Immigration at that.
Immigration.
Like, yeah, like we just decided one day we going to,
America's a wonderful place. Let's just go
man,
work over there
all right,
for
let's
free.
get a job for free. You know, and you get to work for free too at that.
People are ridiculous.
Shoot.
And it's so funny how people accept it. You know, they just accept everything. You know what I'm saying? People
Uh,
voting for people to oppress them. You know what I mean?
uh,
People are just insane, man. It's just, I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I was the same way. I didn't wake up till I was about 30, about 6, 7 years ago. I was about 31 or 32 when I woke up. I was still voting. So I kind of understand how they go, what they're going through and all that stuff. But I mean, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, like the people on my timeline and stuff. You know what I mean? They still vote,
come,
and I know good well they see all the stuff that I be talking about.
come. You see, that's what I don't understand, man. Is because I don't think that how would you put it? I thought we always kind of had a understanding of where we stood as a people. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Until I came into this truth, because and really leading up to that, uh, and seeing how things went with the Rodney King riots and knowing about that, and then growing up, you learned about guys like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then you start seeing more and more kids being killed by the police. Um, police brutality, all this kind of stuff everywhere else. And at first I was waiting oh man, they about to, you know what I mean?
yeah,
They messed up. But, and then you just have no result. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's kind of what I started noticing because before that, my perception was, okay, black people as a people, you know what I mean? We're gonna be ready to if something happens, if something out of the way, we'll be ready to rise up and stand together. But that's not the case. It's a different day and time.
Oh, yeah,
Man, you really notice it too when you're in this truth.
yeah.
That's
That's
the key.
that's our burden. Sitting there watching these people never. waking up, tell them everything. They just completely have no understanding about anything. Nor do they care. They just don't care. They say, I'm gonna go to work, come home. As long as my kids are taken care of, then my job is done.
Con.
Mm.
I'm gonna go into a let's see. We got about 8 minutes left. We definitely need to put some work in on some videos bringing out this information like I was talking about as well. Um, I'm not trying to do no promotions or plugs or nothing like that, but hopefully a lot of people will be tuned in to ISUPK on the Passover. I'm real interested in seeing what kind of information General Yohana is going to bring out, because hopefully that could be information to help out other brothers in the Hebrew Israelite community, as well as putting some of these Egyptologists and their arguments to rest. Con.
Yeah, I hope that comes out live. I want to see that.
Yeah.
That man said,
So,
what if I told you I seen the city? I found the city and hiding in plain sight. I was like, he can't be talking about the bars because everybody already knows about the bars. So I got
yeah.
to see this.
And then tomorrow, 10 a.m., we'll be doing a class on Pesach. We'll be going over that and why it is important for us to know how to observe these holidays. Let's see. Not exactly. I don't like to use that term holidays. I end up slipping up saying it a lot, but holy convocational days. Um, and I'm not going to call them all feast days either, because not all of them are feast days. Of course, Yom Kippur is a day of fasting, but it's very important that we know how to observe these days, and that goes back to Amos 3:3. And two walk together lest they be agreed. So we have to get in agreement with the Most High, because that is one of His statutes and commandments, is to follow these days, and that's in Leviticus chapter 23. Let's see. Let's get 1 Corinthians 5:7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. Right? And directly after Pesach is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And during Pesach, during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you cannot have any leaven in your whole house, nor can you consume or eat of it. And that leaven is symbolic of sin. All right, because just a small amount can penetrate a large amount of dough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get of course, Passover goes back to the time when we were in Egypt. The Lord killed all the firstborn sons of the Egyptians. Do you have anything else to add?
That's it.
I'd like to tell everybody Shabbat Shalom. Praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah. You got anything else to say?
Yeah, all praise to the highest power, the supreme intellect, like like old buddy says all the time. And the wonderful Son and the Holy Spirit men who came. And shalom to everyone out there pushing this our Israelite heritage to everyone, all these dumb, deaf, and blind people. Wake them up.
Come, appreciate it. Claim your inheritance and the world's holiest government.
Shalom.
Shalom.